Show, a program that gives you the best and most practical, actionable insights.
All right, good morning. It's 0722 and welcome to Ngalama Insights, the business show that helps you master your money. I'm your host, Lina Zulu, and today we have an exciting topic for you. We'll be discussing how to transition from being a saver to becoming an investor and start growing your wealth. Joining me in the studio is our financial expert, Mukonki Mukonkela. Welcome to the show, Mukonki. How are you?
I'm fine, Lina. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Happy Unity Day.
I know, right? Today is Unity Day. I
Yes,
get confused
it's
between
and
heroes.
Unity. Yesterday was Heroes, today is Unity Day.
Thank you. Happy Unity Day to you and to the listener as well.
Thank you so much. So many people focus on saving money, but they're really unsure about how to begin investing and also grow their wealth. What advice do you have for those looking to make this transition?
Thank you, Lina. So if you've been thinking about investing, now we are hearing a lot about saving and investing, financial independence, and all these terms that we are hearing about. When you are ready to take that path of investing, you need to be aware of a few things. And the very first thing I would ask you to do is actually to educate yourself about the different investments that we have in Zambia. So in Zambia, you can invest with the government of Zambia through government bonds and treasury bills. Mm-hmm. Government bonds are long-term investments, normally lasting for 2 years or more. And then we have shorter investments called treasury bills. So this is like lending money to the government, and then they pay you interest or coupon incomes after 6 months. That's for the government bonds. So you can consider investing with the government through the government securities. The other investment vehicles you can look at are investing in companies listed on the Lusaka Stock Exchange. So we have the Lusaka Stock Exchange where companies list themselves or basically want to sell a share or a stake of their company to the public in exchange for money. So you can use your money to buy a share of that company. And for you to do this, you need to educate yourself in terms of these investment vehicles. And then the other thing is you have to have clear financial goals. Why do you want to invest in government bonds or in shares? You really need to be aware of your goals, because your investment vehicle should be able to match your goal. For example, if you've got a long-term goal of building a house, there's no way you can put your money in shares, because shares normally give you a return in the long term. It's not a short-term return it's not like you're going to put money in shares today and then make a profit tomorrow. You have to think of investing in shares for the long term. That is when you reap the benefits of investing in shares. And so you need to look at your financial goals as well when you are considering investing. The other thing you need to consider is also your risk tolerance. Are you comfortable with investing in shares or in government bonds? So look at your risk tolerance as well. So these are the things that you need to consider as you start embarking on your investment journey.
Mm-hmm. Those are very valuable tips, Mukonki. When it comes to investing, there are a few key types of accounts you need to consider. Yeah, one is the CSD account with Bank of Zambia for investing in government securities. Could you just explain what this account is and why an investor needs to open one?
Thank you. So when it comes to investing, other than you just creating bank accounts for your savings and investments, you also need to open very important accounts. One is the CSD account that you've mentioned, Lina. CSD stands for Central Securities Depository. It is an account that you need to open with the Bank of Zambia. Now, I get a lot of questions on my YouTube channel of people trying to find out whether the CSD, how much money do I need? What's the minimum balance for the CSD account? How much fees will I be paying? A CSD account is not like a regular bank account. It is an account that Bank of Zambia creates for you specifically to track your investment in treasury bills and government bonds. It is not a literal bank account where you need a minimum balance and the Bank of Zambia will charge you bank fees. No. Consider the CSD account as simply a statement or a record of your investments with the government of Zambia. That is what the CSD account is. And if you look at the role of the Bank of Zambia, the Bank of Zambia is not a bank where individuals can go and actually save money or put money in. The Bank of Zambia is a regulatory body for the government of Zambia that oversees the financial system in Zambia. It looks at the banks that we have in our country and also focuses on ensuring that we have price stability in terms of the Zambian kwacha, and it facilitates and ensures that we've got a good operating financial system. So it is not a deposit-taking bank, as a few of my viewers have expressed or asked when it comes to opening this CSD account. So you should not fear opening a CSD account. Know that it's not a regular bank account. It is simply a statement that the Bank of Zambia keeps as a record for your investment in government bonds.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're discussing transitioning from being a saver to becoming an investor and start growing your wealth. Thank you for clarifying that on the CSD account, Mukonki. Then there's another type of account, the brokerage account. Could you just explain what this one is and how it fits into the investment process? Thank
you, Lena. So when you're investing, you need the broker account as well. The brokerage account is an account that will allow you to sell your investment in shares on the Lusaka Stock Exchange, without which you cannot. So we've got different brokers in Zambia, and you can find a full list of regulated brokers when you go to the Securities and Exchange Commission website. That's SEC. So the SEC is the government body that ensures that our investments are secure. So brokers are required to register with the SEC. And if you want to open a brokerage account, go to the SEC website, you find a full list of brokers and choose one. As you are choosing one, you need to consider your personal factors as well. I mean, your risk tolerance, what kind of investments you'd like to make. Would you like to invest in shares, in bonds? Do those brokers actually invest in such platforms, maybe in real estate? So those are the things that you need to look at when you are looking at what kind of broker to choose in terms of opening a brokerage account. All right. That's very helpful. Are there any specific requirements or minimum balances associated with this account? Yes, they are. And each broker is different, which is why you need to go to the SEC website and look at the list of brokers and get in touch with them. Some brokers require a minimum amount of maybe 1,000, others 5,000. It all depends, and it also depends on the kind of investment you want to make. If you want to make investments in real estate, it could be a different minimum balance that you need. And then the good thing with a brokerage account is that you can also make regular deposits into that account. And so I'll just encourage you to go visit the SEC website, look at the list of brokers, and try to get in touch with them, call them and find out what is the minimum balance. How do I open a brokerage account? By the way, opening these accounts, Lena, is very straightforward. Mm-hmm. All you need to do is fill in an application form, especially with the Bank of Zambia, like I did a few months ago. All you need to do is go to the website BOZ or even the broker's website. You'll find a form. Download that form and complete it and send it. For Bank of Zambia, send it to government.securities@boz.zm, and they will be able to get back to you within a very short period of time. And just using your NRC, you have your CSD account opened. And a similar process applies with the brokerage account. With the brokers that I have an account with, all they did is give me a form, asked for 2 passport size photos, completed the form, and I already had an account. So it's very essential for investors to have these accounts, because that is when you can actually start investing. Wow. So it's crucial for our dear listeners and, you know, everyone that wants to get into investment to do proper research and find the brokerage account that suits their needs and financial capabilities. Yeah. Yeah, that's very true, Lena. I hope you've started your investment journey. I'm listening. I'm doing this show and like listening. So I'm sure one of these days I'm going to call you up and say, so what did you say again? Like, you know, because I think these are things that we need to put in place. You know what you need to start with? I hope you've started with. Now, this is a few tips for you and others. Mm-hmm. Start with creating a savings account to set money aside regularly. So open one with a bank, and mm-hmm. you could also open an investment account for your long-term investments, your dreams, building a house, buying a nice car, and So open at least those two accounts and an emergency fund, by the way. I spoke
Yeah.
about emergency funds previously. So open at least these 3 accounts. And then after a few months, start diverting that money into these investment vehicles that I'm talking about. Government bonds, all you need is a minimum of 1,000 to start investing in the Zambian government bonds. And then you can also start with the brokers. Identify a broker. They could invest in the Lusaka Stock Exchange All Share Index. The All Share Index is an index that looks at all the big companies that we have listed on the Lusaka Stock Exchange. So through a broker, you can actually invest just a little bit of money in the All Share Index on the Lusaka Stock Exchange. And that's how you get started. Don't be afraid of, I need a lot of money,
Right.
or Mukonki is talking about big things
Yeah,
here.
I think investment options, what comes to mind, investment options is building my flat and putting them on rent. You get it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, or doing a chicken business that my friend is doing, because that's what everyone is doing. So information like this is not really out there.
And it's true, you can build your flats, you can do your chicken run, but if you look at there's a question I also got for another viewer on YouTube. It was like, so Mukonki, what you're saying is if I invest in the government bonds, it's as good as, it's actually better than building a house. If I'll be making 13,000 every month, so I might as well just invest my money in the government bonds. I'm like, yeah, it's actually true. That's the realization I came to as well. I mean, I've been pressured by my mom to build, right? But then when I started looking at these investment vehicles, I looked at the government bonds critically. And if you go to my YouTube channel, Mukonki you're going to find a video where I speak, because it was a soul searching video.
Right. Like it was also talking to you, yeah? Like
Yes.
at this moment, and whatever I find here will be for me
I
and
know.
also for everyone out there.
I know, Lina, for me to arrive at that, I mean, I'm an accountant, but then it's things I wasn't aware of. Even as a financial expert, it's things that I wasn't aware of. So I did this video and discovered that, wow, instead of me spending money in building these flats or whatever, that would take me a long time to build, and I might not even find tenants, why don't I start looking at the Zambian government bonds? And that's what really got me started.
Wow. Amazing. So you're talking from experience, and I think that's what's good about it.
Yes.
Yeah. If anything crash lands, I'm like, we need to have a talk. Yeah, we need to have a talk.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, your expertise on transitioning from saver to investor. Your insights have really incredibly been valuable to our listeners and to me personally as well. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we end today's show?
Yes, Lina. I would like to add that for many of us in Zambia, we look at these things like, well, it's a fairy tale. What is she talking about? We live in a third world country. But guys, the road to financial freedom has never been easier. I mean, look at opening this. A lot of us never knew about this CSD account with Bank of Zambia. It's only the banks, financial institutions that had that privileged information. Now we have access to all this information. There's nothing that is holding you back from starting to invest, and you don't need a lot of money. I mean, if you look at many of us that speak about investments or financial freedom, many of us don't even have a lot of money, by the way. We are just basic
that we have.
It's a bit that we have, but we are taking steps and strides to ensure that we can, start investing and also attain this financial freedom. So my encouragement and an actionable insight for you today as a listener and a viewer on my YouTube channel is start investing, start saving, start investing. Don't be afraid. A few months, a few years from now, you will appreciate what you've done. Thank you so much, Lina, and for the viewer and the viewers on YouTube for joining me today. Even though it's a holiday, we still managed to do this.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, so we'll let you get back to your bed and your coffee. Thank you so much for coming through, Mukonki.
Thank you.
All right, so it's been the Ndalama Insights radio show for today. We've been talking about transitioning from being a saver to becoming an investor and start to grow your wealth. My name is Lina Zulu on behalf of my financial expert, Mukonki Mukonkela. Until next time, it's goodbye.